Alright, so let's talk about this whole issue with the death rocks in EA Sports UFC. And my whole stance on the whole thing has always been that they simply don't make sense. Now, when I say that they don't make sense, I'm not saying that it doesn't make sense to get rocked when you get hit in the face. That's not what I'm saying at all. What I'm saying is that in EA Sports UFC, there is no consistency, and when there is no consistency, there is no balance. And when there is no balance, nothing makes sense. Now, I'm going to try to explain exactly what I mean to the best of my ability, and I hope this all makes sense when I'm done. Now, take gravity for example. The principle of gravity is that when an object leaves the ground, gravity always has an effect on that object, and because of that effect, the object falls back to the earth. Now, imagine for a second that we live in a world where the effects of gravity are not consistent. Sometimes you can jump into the air and you start floating. Sometimes you can jump off an airplane and not fall to your death. And then other times, you jump off the same exact plane in the same exact conditions at the same exact time and you fall to your death. What would people say? People would say, it makes no sense. Gravity doesn't make no sense at all. And they won't be saying that because they don't understand that gravity is a force that pulls you down when you jump into the air. No, they'll be saying that it makes no sense because the effects of gravity are not consistent. If gravity just chooses on its own when to pull you down and when not to pull you down, not only will people not respect it and take it seriously, people won't understand it and there will be a lack of balance. This is pretty much how the damage system in EA Sports UFC is. Because there is no consistency to the effects of strikes, players don't respect the strikes, and because there is no consistency, people get frustrated when some random strike out of nowhere rocks them. You might say, why are you mad that you got rocked after you got hit in the face? And to that I say, if you watched a friend of yours jump off a plane and start floating in the air, okay? And then you jump off the same exact plane and fall to the ground and break your back. Would you be frustrated? Why would you be frustrated? Would you be frustrated just because you broke your back? Or would you be frustrated because you felt cheated? Why do I get punished for doing the same exact thing someone else did and didn't get punished for? That's what will frustrate you. The lack of justice. Let's say we both have Cain Velasquez, okay? You throw a hook and I eat it. I throw the same exact hook back and I death rock you. Would you be frustrated? Of course you would. It's the same exact strike at the same exact speed with the same exact stamina with the same exact fighters, but then we have different results. That's what's frustrating. Now here's another one. Let's say we both have Cain Velasquez, okay? And I hit you with a right hook which drops you to the ground, and you hit me with the same exact hook and it rocks me on my feet. Now, would you be frustrated? Now remember, in the first example I gave with Cain Velasquez, I death rocked you with my hook, but your hook had absolutely no effect on me at all. But with this example I'm giving now, both hooks had clear effects, even though the effects were different. Now would you be frustrated? Personally, I don't know about you, but personally, I wouldn't be frustrated because my punch had a clear effect and your punch had a clear effect as well, even though the effects were different. So when I say that every single strike should have an effect, I'm not asking for the same exact effect every single time. No, that won't be realistic. What I'm asking for is that every single strike should have an effect, and there should never be a time when a clean strike is landed with absolutely no effects at all. If the damage is done this way, every player would know in the back of their head, in the back of their mind, that even though you don't know exactly what effect a particular strike will result in, you know for sure that if you land this strike, it will have some effect, and the effect will match the strike that was landed. This will cause players to be more careful on the feet, better with their defense, and if you do get caught with something and you get critically rocked, you won't complain because you know the game is consistent. You expected an effect when the clean strike landed, and that's what you got. That's how it is in real life. When fighters are trying to land their strike, they don't know exactly what effect the strike will do. When JDS is trying to land that overhand right or that uppercut, he doesn't know precisely if it's going to knock you out or rock you or stun you. But guess what? What he does know for sure is that when that overhand right lands, there will be an effect. You're not just gonna walk through it. You're not just gonna eat it and have zero effect at all. There will be an effect, and he knows that. That's why he's trying to land it. He might not know what the effect is gonna be, but he knows for sure that there will be an effect if the strike lands cleanly. That is the problem I have with the game's damage system. When I'm trying to land a head kick, I don't know if the strike is going to have an effect or not have an effect. That shouldn't be my thought process. My thought process should be, man, I wonder what effect this head kick is going to have when I finally land it. Because I already know that there's definitely going to be an effect. And if the effect is a KO, I could be like, wow, awesome, that head kick knocked him out. And if it's just, if the head kick just wobbled him, I could be like, oh man, it just wobbled him, but it's all good. I'm gonna try to land that thing one more time. So we shouldn't be worrying about, oh man, I wonder if this strike will have an effect or not. No, I should be thinking, damn, I wonder what effect it will have, not whether it would have an effect or not. This will give our strikes purpose. It will make the striking dangerous, which will encourage players to be more careful and more deliberate and calculated. This way, I can pick Dan Henderson, for example, and know that if I land that H-bomb, it's not going to be a question whether, the strike will have an effect on you or not. No, I know it will have an effect. I know for sure there will be an effect. The question now is, will you be unconscious, rocked, stunned, wobbled? Which effect? That's where the surprise comes in. That's where the idea of you never know what could happen in MMA comes in. It's not that we don't know that their strikes will have an effect. No. We know that Anthony Johnson could hit John Jones and knock him out. The question is, when Anthony Johnson hits John Jones, what effect will the strike have? Is it just going to stun him? Is it going to knock him out cold? Is it going to wobble him? Is it going to rock him? There will never be a time when Anthony Johnson lands a clean strike on John Jones and there is absolutely zero effect. It might look like there's no effect to us because we're watching it on TV, but I guarantee, at the very least, he was stunned. At the very least, he was stunned a little bit. There is always an effect. So when I complain about death rocks and I talk about how they make no sense, it's because there is no consistency. And because there is no consistency, there is no balance. That's the problem I have with this game's damage system, and I hope that these developers can address it in the next game. But that's pretty much it. I really hope I've explained this as properly as I possibly can, and if you still don't agree, then debate me, okay? Come talk to me. Let's talk about it. Get on cam and talk to me about it. But anyways, thank you for watching, guys. I really appreciate it. Let me know in the comment section if you understand exactly what I'm saying. Let me know if you agree. And if you disagree, once again, debate me about it. Let's talk about it. Come tell me why you don't agree. Come share your opinion on it. Let's hear it. But that's pretty much it. I'll see you guys soon. Be safe.